Okay. Good day, students. I am Miss Nichole Samantha Flores, and I will be your teacher for today's discussion. Let me just share my screen. Wait. All right. Can you see it now?
Yes, Paul.
Okay. Thank you. To start, in our everyday lives, we use different kind of words and sentences. We use declaratives, interrogatives, imperatives, and more. But today, we will be talking about imperatives. We use imperatives when we want to give commands or request. We'll talk about more information in imperatives for today's lesson. As we begin, I will be showing you some examples of imperatives and how can we use it in a sentence. The first sentence would be, clean your room. This sentence consists of an imperative that made it an imperative sentence. The word that made it an imperative sentence is the word clean. Are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. For the next sentence, we have don't open the door. Just like what I've said earlier, this sentence also consists of a verb that made this sentence an imperative. Can I ask Miss Wangle to tell me what is the verb given in this sentence?
Yes, Paul, ma'am. The verb in this sentence that made it an imperative is the word open.
Okay, very good. Thank you. It is correct that open is the verb word. And as we continue, since I've given you examples of imperative sentences, can I ask you now to give me an example of imperative sentence? And also, kindly indicate what verb you use to make your sentence an imperative. Can I first ask Miss Lishwe?
Yes, ma'am. The example that I will give is the sentence, answer this assignment today. The verb that I used on my sentence is the word answer.
Okay, correct. On your example, you used answer as your verb that made your sentence imperative. Can I now ask Miss Wangle to give me an example?
Yes, ma'am. My example is eat your lunch later. The verb that I used that made my sentence imperative is the word eat.
Okay, hold on. Good job since you constructed a right imperative sentence. Looks like you listened well on my brief discussion earlier. And since I think you listened well, can I ask Miss Lishwe, could you please tell me what can make a sentence an imperative?
Yes, ma'am. It is a verb that can make the sentence imperative.
Alright, thank you, Miss Lishwe. It is correct that we use verb to make the sentence imperative. And as we proceed, I will be presenting some examples. You will be just telling me what is the verb on the example that I will present. Let's proceed with the first sentence. Wait. Okay. The first sentence would be, Mary, come here. May I call on Miss Wangle to answer the first sentence? Read the sentence first and tell me what is the verb that I used.
Yes, ma'am. Mary, come here. The verb on the first sentence is the word come.
Okay, very good. Let's see. The verb on this sentence is the word come. Let's now proceed to the next example. May I call on now Miss Lishwe to answer this one? Read the sentence first and tell me what is the verb that I use.
Please let me in. On this sentence, the verb is the word let.
Okay, thank you. We'll see. Alright, very good. On the next sentence, let me call on Miss Wangle. Again, read the sentence first and tell me what is the verb that I used.
Let's go somewhere else. The verb is the word go.
Okay, we'll see. Thank you. Alright, you're doing great, students. You got the right answer again. And now for the last example, can you please answer Miss Lishwe?
Okay. Don't clean the house. The verb on this sentence that made it imperative is the word clean.
Okay, thank you. Let's check. Alright, very good. It is the word clean. Let's proceed. Okay, another information, imperatives consist of four types. There are four types of imperative sentences. The first one is the negative imperative. In this type of imperative, we use the word don't, proceeding with the word that we use to make the sentence imperative, which is the verb. On the second type, we have subjects with imperatives. With this type, we use names or subjects before putting the word that we use to make the sentence imperative. The two remaining types are the polite request and making suggestions with let's. We use polite request when we have the word please on our sentences, while on making suggestions with let's, we use the word let's. And to continue, I will be presenting an activity. Um, you will just tell me what type of imperative sentence I used on my example. On first example, hold on. Can I ask Miss Wangle? Can you please read the example, tell me the verb, and tell me what type of imperative sentence that I used?
Yes, Bob. Let's complete this by tomorrow. I think the verb is completed and the type is making suggestion with let's.
Alright, we'll see. Correct. It is uh it is making suggestions with let's because I used the word let's on the example I provided, and the verb I used is complete. For the next example, Miss Lishwe, can you please read the example, tell me the verb, and tell me what type of imperative sentence I used?
Yes, ma'am. Please hold the door for me. The verb is hold, and I think the correct answer is right request.
Okay, hold on, we'll see. Alright, the verb is hold and the type of imperative is polite request. For the next example, Miss Wangle, can you please read the example? Tell me the verb and tell me what type of imperative sentence I used.
Don't forget your belongings. The verb is forget, and I think the correct answer is negative imperative.
Okay, thank you, Miss Wangle. We'll see. You got the right answer again. It is a negative imperative because we use the word don't. And for the last example, can I call Miss Lishwe? Can you please read the example, tell me the verb, and tell me what type of imperative sentence that I used?
Hey, ma'am. Mary paid the bills. The verb is pay, and the type is subject with imperative.
Okay, thank you, Miss Lishwe. We'll see. Of course, you're doing great. The verb is the word pay, and the correct type is subject with imperative because we use a subject before proceeding with a verb. And now, since you've already understood our lesson, I will be giving you a recap of our lesson we had today. Imperative sentence is a direct command, request, invitation, warning, or instruction that is expressed in an imperative sentence. Imperative sentences lock a subject and instead issue a directive to an implied second person. I've also mentioned different types of imperative sentences earlier. The first one is the negative imperative. In this type of imperative, we use the word don't, proceeding with the word that we use to make the sentence imperative or the verb. Uh, and on the second type, we have subjects with imperatives. With this type, we use names or subjects before putting the word that we use to make the sentence imperative, which is the verb. And the two remaining types are the polite requests and making suggestions with let's. We use polite request when we have the word please on our sentence, while on making suggestions with let's, we use the word let's. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
No
No.
questions? Okay. That would be all for our discussion today. I hope you understand well the imperative and imperative sentences. I will be just giving you an assignment later. I will post it on our MS Teams. And if you have clarifications or questions, just put it on our chat. Are we clear?
Yes, po, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, po.
So,